My name is Greg Otte. I'm a senior expert with McKinsey. I'm based here in Singapore. My role is to lead the Asia consumer supply chain service line. So I think if you look at how supply chain is changing in Asia, I think we can see three distinct trends. First one is that consumers become much more demanding. That means that they are asking for a larger variety of products, much more consumer differentiation. Second one is that they're asking for much higher product availability. Consumers are no longer happy to come back and wait until product is available. They want the product right there when they walk into the store or when they order it online. The third is that lead times become much shorter. Consumers want instant gratification. They want the products to be delivered immediately. If a product is out of stock, it's not available in the store, they want it the next day. If they order it online, ideally they want it the same day. So consumers become much more demanding. That is the first one. The second trend is that we see that if you look at where those consumers live, we see that a huge amount of the growth will come from tier 3, tier 4 cities. So that means, in particular for Southeast Asia, we see that a large amount of the growth coming from remote areas, tier 3, tier 4 cities, which are significantly harder to reach, where traditional supply chain become very expensive or difficult to reach. Therefore, they have to go through distributors, and that is much more challenging. Number three is that we see that it's a huge pickup in terms of e-commerce. We see that a lot of consumers are switching away from traditional shopping in retail stores or brick and mortar and are switching to e-commerce and online sales. The implications for the supply chain are that they need to change to a radically different model where they are able to achieve almost same-day delivery at a much lower cost than a traditional model and offering a much larger amount of choice, which ties back to the overall preferences of the consumers, which are changing. So growth opportunities within Southeast Asia are fantastic. If you look at the region as a whole, within Southeast Asia, in particular ASEAN, is growing tremendously. Right? We've seen the growth in China picking up dramatically. However, while China is still growing, the pace of growth in China is slowing. What we see now is that ASEAN is tremendously well positioned for future growth. They are growing at a rate of, if I'm not mistaken, about 6% or so. And we see that within Southeast Asia, some of the regions like Indonesia, Vietnam are growing even faster. So I think there's a huge opportunity for all of us here in Southeast Asia. Secondly, I see that within Southeast Asia, the growth will primarily come from the more remote areas, tier 3, tier 4 cities, where currently we have a lot of supply chain companies are under-penetrated, and there's a significantly more opportunity in those remote areas. I think to me, one of the biggest challenges in supply chain is really how do we connect the front end of the supply chain, the commercial side, sales, marketing, and so on. How do we connect the front end side to the back end? How do we connect the commercial side where they are trying to deal with volatility, with increasing customer sophistication and increasingly demanding customers, with a back-end production, supply, planning, transportation? How can they achieve a much higher amount of flexibility to be able to meet those uncertain and changing situations at the front end? So I think key for companies will be to make sure that they can connect the front end and the back end and be able to move much faster, make faster decisions, and have the information flow go both ways much faster than has been the case up until now. To me, this event is fantastic. This is one of the largest, if not the largest, supply chain gathering within Asia Pacific. And I think there are over 100 plus senior executives from a variety of industries. And I think this gives us a fantastic finger on the pulse in terms of what is happening today, what are some of the challenges that all of us in the industry are facing, and what are some of the solutions and best practices and insider tips and tricks that some of the other companies are doing. So I think it's a fantastic opportunity to learn. In addition, it's a fantastic opportunity to also connect with friends, to connect with other people, with colleagues, and to build a relationship.